Alright, hello, welcome. I'm going live early because A, nobody watches, because B, non-farm payrolls is coming in a little over 5 minutes. Doesn't make sense to go live right at the release of the news. Anyway, welcome. My name's Frank. If you're listening in the future, this is my own personal video log of how I trade. Key areas, news, you name it. Everything to do with the ES. And since the ES represents stock market, I get into that a little bit too. And the macro, I like to get into that too. Anyway, no more paper. It's a community I want to build. Who knows if I ever will. When I was searching for information, it was very hard to parse through what was bullshit and what wasn't. And even times when I thought I found, oh, this guy seems legit, it's, oh, of course he sells a $5,000 course. And I quickly saw through all that, and I hated it. So then you look for community, normal people. So then you find the stupid Discord communities that you gotta subscribe to, and they give you signals and shit. Nobody wants that. I mean, if you want that, you're not gonna be a trader. You want quick money, you don't want to be a trader. And that's the main point here. I want to be a trader. I want to do this profession. I don't care about quick money. I love this. Anyway, that's my spiel. I do this video log because it pushes me to learn more, and it pushes me to become more professional. Anyway, I don't want to speculate on what non-farm payrolls is going to come out. We also have initial jobless claims. Now, this is released by the government, so just automatically know there's going to be a political spin to it in some way. I really dislike that. I don't know. Who knows who set the original example? I hate the arguing like, oh, this only now, only in the last 3 years, 2 years, whatever, has everything become political. No, it's always been political. Anytime you set up a government institution, it's inherently political. There's nothing you can do about it. I don't care how much you say the Supreme Court is independent. It's not. It's more independent than Congress, but we need to be realists here. But the answer isn't, oh, my political party is better because they manipulate people less, or they manipulate the statistics less. Or the idiots who say, oh, before Trump, the Bureau of Labor Statistics was perfect. It was all about facts. Yeah, okay. Sure. The only answer really is, don't let the government grow. I mean, that's what it always comes down to. I think every time in history, in the past, when systems have failed or governments have failed, it's usually a result of too much government, too much state. I should just make this show what it is, a freaking commentary on politics. Not that I know what I'm talking about. I don't consider myself well read into politics. I just can see the bullshit for what it is. Anyway, we got 20 seconds or so until the release. I have never considered trading or news release. I think there's other avenues you can approach and make money in the markets besides that. Alright, the initial jobless claims came in lower. Unemployment rate is steady. Non-farm payrolls okay, so that's why it's bullish. We're seeing a bullish reaction right now. Even though jobless claims are not, they're ticking up a little bit. Initial jobless claims. It doesn't really make sense, then non-farm payrolls are down. I guess all those layoffs are hitting the market, or hitting the data, if it's true. Unemployment rate actually went down. I would think that would be bearish, but what do I know? Alright, let's take a look at the charts quick. Giant green candle. As a whole, I was thinking we were looking a little bearish. The only clue that we might have popped for that would be here in the VIX. The overnight was flat, but yet the overnight VIX was trending down. That could have been some indication, but you never know. So what could happen here is this could bid up and then immediately fall flat and reverse in the other direction. We shall see. Alright, let's take a quick look at news articles, headlines. See what lies they're trying to tell today. I only have the stomach for a little bit of this. Jobs report misses expectations. I don't know. I wouldn't say that. A lot of the stuff came right in within expectations. Ooh, this is interesting. Electricity demand is set to pass GDP and growth for first time. This is proof, I'm telling you. If this doesn't tell you I don't know if this is a true chart. And why are they... Who knows? IMF. Okay, bullshit. Who knows? Anyway, why the hell is 2029 and 2030 lower? I think they just pulled these out of their ass. But despite that, it represents the trend that AI is not passing through real value. The spend is there, but the revenue is not. The only ones making the revenue are the ones hyping the spending. But all of it's going to fall flat because there's no return in revenue. The internet got real return in revenue because they eventually figured out how to monetize it. And monetize it they did. So there's real value flowing through. See, a lot of people forget these days that wealth is not just there. It's not like, poof, there's money, and now spread out the money. No. Wealth must be created. You cannot just sit at home and get everything. Someone needs to maintain all the infrastructure. Someone needs to go mine the material and process the material and build things out of the materials. I mean, it's common sense. You would think it would be. But it's not. See if there's any good comments on this. Prices continuing higher right now towards yesterday's high. Again, all this is doing, so if the evidence does start to come out in favor of a cut, and let's say the Fed even decides to cut, or even just leave rates where they are, and don't forget, they're also printing money yet behind the scenes. They're still issuing bonds or buying back bonds. So they're still printing money. So it's like watch one hand while the other still screws you. All of Kevin Warsh's comments about inflation are just complete BS. He's trying to put a good face on before he totally turns around and lets Wall Street have their way with him. It's just the way it is. Oil prices dropping faster than CNN ratings. Gas prices dropping faster than Democratic bonds. Inflation dropping. Wages are up. Jobs are... What? Manufacturing is back. Alright. I hate this as much as Democrats saying everyone deserves everything. Just, if you wake up in the morning and you're alive, you deserve everything. No, you have to go do something. But I hate this because it totally misses the point. Trump is not a Republican. He's not a conservative. He's a Democrat. He's just a Democrat who's a little bit based. This has nothing to do with the article. Would be a much better article if there were specific recommendations on what to invest in, ETFs, etc. Why would you don't, okay, you tell me you're brand new without telling me you're brand new. Retail investors are running away from the Mag 7. It's brilliant. I hope so. It's been a while since I took a look at the leading companies behind the recent growth. like on any given day we're up, let's say we're up whatever 100 points in the ES. I mean, that's a kind of unreal. So let's say 50, 40 points. Which companies drove that growth? Yeah, a month ago, it was, or 2 months ago, it was what they call the Mag 7, the big guys. Who's doing it now? Who's fueling the growth now? And it's the same thing we saw earlier this year. We had that massive pullback around March and April. Again, that was happening before the war in Iran. But what you saw was people moving their money out of the technology and putting it into consumer defensive. Things like Verizon and Walmart. The ones that make money no matter what. Apparently we're seeing that now. I haven't seen it myself. I've been busy on the charts and the charts only. But we shall see. Anyway, as I was trying to make a point, or I don't know if I was making a point or not. The more, I think the Fed is going to bend over for Wall Street. They're not going to do like, was it Volcker? I don't remember when and who, but in the 80s, I think it was, or 70s, they raised interest rates to insane levels to combat inflation, and it worked. And the whole premise, the whole reason for the Fed is they constantly point to that, say, look, the Fed works, and then do nothing that the Fed used to do. I would want to abolish the Fed if it was up to me. But again, I would abolish the government. Well, most of the government. I would get rid of welfare. I would get rid of Social Security. I would get rid of Medicaid, Medicare. I would get rid of all of the government agencies except for police and the military. To be honest, that would be the only, I mean, even if we started moving in that direction just a little, that would be the only way to save this country. That and completely ceasing all immigration. Not all, but the majority of immigration. That would be the only thing that would save this country, but there's not the political will. And even if the average citizen came to that conclusion as well, which that'll never happen, the common person is never that wise. I mean, they don't have time. I'm not gonna crap on them. They don't have time to think about it, or they just want to go to work and have families, which is wonderful. But even if everyone thought that was best and started voting for politicians that would, well, they did. They did. They kind of voted Trump in because he said he'd do that, and he didn't do any of it. He made a show of doing it and then said, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm getting blackmailed by the Israelis. I don't know if that's the reason, but there's immense pressure. Whatever. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand some people who want everything. Like the idea, I don't know, that kind of, it takes a real piece of shit to be a politician. And it didn't used to be like that. You could be a good person and be a politician. But now it's almost impossible. You have to be really dirty. Alright, let's go back to the charts. I don't care about news anymore. As you can see, VIX has taken a dive. But also, under 15, some would say 16, 15. Once we get that low, that is not a great place to be. That means, and this is just my take, so it's common knowledge that yes, when the VIX gets really low, that something's about to happen one way or another. But my opinion as to why is when the volatility gets really low, manipulation becomes easier. Huge swings become easier. Momentum becomes easier. I mean, look at the daily VIX. And also VIX relative to where price is. According to VIX, we should be making all-time new highs. But we're not. What that tells me is we are entering a bear market soon. It might not be till next year. But at some point, I might even say a crash. Who knows? Maybe there's too much checks and balances on that type of thing now. Like everything's so regulated. Trading is so regulated that they wouldn't allow a crash, a proper crash. They wouldn't allow a proper bear market. I mean, this is part of the reason why I don't, once my shorts play out, I'm done shorting. I'm only gonna go long different things. Because you can't beat the whole of Wall Street. And Wall Street has been positioning themselves more and more on the bullish side permanently. To the point now they're going after short sellers far more than they're going after pump and dumpers. Alright, what do I think for today? I think it is a very dangerous day to trade unless we get some type of consolidation. Yesterday was quite strange. We pulled back, then ripped for most of the morning, only to pull back right to the open. Almost like waiting for this news. And also of note is we're layering now with volume. We pulled back to basically the POC of this range here. When I look at it, we have a section here That's 1 week. I don't know if it relates. Yeah, it is about a week. This is another week. This is another week. This is another week. That's kind of strange, isn't it? How each week kind of has its own section. Doesn't seem normal. Anyway, we are layering on. After rejecting going lower, I should have known. I did know this. I called it out when it happened, but of course, did I place a trade on it? No, because, well, I did, but I took profits very early, as usual. But I said that we would return to this area's point of control, which is somewhere right in here. $75.44. We'd return there and try to figure out from there where to go. Now that we're here, where do we go from here? I'm leaning bearish, but I'm prejudiced in that. It's kind of funny, even when the majority of my trades are bullish, I still lean bearish, just because it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right that free money should pump the market this high. And it takes, not only does it create a bubble, but it takes the power out of consumers' hands. Because no longer do companies care about what you spend. They can just borrow more money and waste it on dumb things. Like the whole EV thing. Everyone with half a brain could have told you the world was not ready for EV. But they pushed forward ahead, which they wouldn't have done that if interest rates were higher. They just wouldn't have. Not as much. I don't know if we'll ever see interest rates above 5% again. I think it'll take a major depression for that to happen. All right, what evidence do I see that we're going to go lower? So exhibit 1 would be less volume. We're getting less volume, except for yesterday it was slightly bit more, but that's because there was a push. There was an attempt at going higher and it was rejected. It peaked a little bit higher. The other thing, geez, I had more than that. I forget what it was. All right, let's talk about the bullish. What could be bullish? Well, we have higher lows for the last 3-4 days. But if we don't make higher highs today, that could be bearish. I think we will make higher highs today. But I hope for a rejection. We get the same little bit that we did yesterday. Was it not even 10 points? And then pulled back. I don't know, we'll see. That's about all I have. I'm not going to make a prediction today on the intraday. I'm going to stay out of trading until later, around 10 or 11. I want to see what initial balance is first. But before I go, I want to try and check out who is leading markets right now. If it's not the Magnificent Seven. Alright, I'm going to try and switch this here. Haha. I don't know how to expand it. It's not working right. Yeah, well, you get the point. Nvidia is seeing a slow decline. I think as people realize, even if AI works out, we're going to trend towards needing less hardware, not more. Because they need it to consume less resources if it's going to work out. Less resources, less hardware needed. Nvidia is not going to be in its golden position anymore, which is great. I want them to go back to making real graphics cards for gamers. If they can. I mean, other contenders will push in. It's just the way it works. And Jensen Huang will go back to whatever planet he's from. All right. Nike's up. I guess they must have did good. Lulu. Really? Air Products. So yeah, these are all consumer defensive. General Mills, Kraft Heinz, McCormick. Honeywell. Verizon's up. Yes, these are all consumer defensive. I wonder if this is current. Let's check that. What? Oh, come on. Right now? Well, I can't do this on stream now, can I? Fucking TradingView. Could have sent me an email. But no, you're going to interrupt me in the middle of my trading. Wonderful. I don't know why I give them money anymore. Anyway, that's all I got. Good luck, goodbye.